Good morning, all four of you. Thank you for being here incredibly early. Well, maybe early for you. Bear is a rise and shiner. Bear is an early bird. And anyway, thanks to you all for being here. There's probably lots of other places you can be at just shy of 6 o'clock in the morning, Central, but I appreciate you. Intel at bearindependent.com, intel at bearindependent.com, intel at bearindependent.com. Good morning, Sigma Tactical, Homestead Hopeful. Good goof morning to you too. Homestead Hopeful Tara, Wookie, daughter of the king, Angela, Frank, Puzzleman. Puzzleman, you're up early, brother. Good morning. Todd, Jason, Steve, Randy, LP. Good morning, LP. So, anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Please submit your tasty Intel nuggets to intel at bearindependent.com. And please make sure to check out the Grindstone raffle at the Bear store, bearindependent.com, the store there. The Grindstone raffle, this is the second raffle we've done. It is huge. It's massive. Custom-made UW gear, incorporated, handmade, made in America chest rig, bare minimum, both of which are in multicam, a bare minimum kit, an awesome bushcraft knife from Fleming's Fabrications, branded with the Bear logo, an Amendment 1 Preparedness canned ham light 30 caliber ham radio can, coffee from Disaster Coffee, swag from Sanctified Supply Company, and stickers and patches and stuff from Bear Independent for a $5 raffle ticket. And all of that goes directly to help us help people who rescue and really rehabilitate victims of human trafficking and sex crimes. So, $5 bill, worth your time. Also, please check out the podcast. You can find us on iTunes, find us on the website streaming. And I would love it if you watched it, or I'm sorry, listened to it and left a productive comment and gave it an honest rating. Please and thank you. So, Intel report, 7 May. The cases continue to climb. Global cases, 3.810 million. Global deaths, 264,000. Global recoveries, 1.287 million, with 2,259,000 active cases globally. About 45% of those are in the United States as far as active cases go currently. The United States, 1.256 million, over 1.25 million cases now, 997 active. U.S. deaths are 74,121. U.S. recoveries are 205,000. Okay, if anybody here is a hotelier, if you are a hotel person, why do we have one size coffee cup that's this? Look at this. Look at the size of my hand. Look at this coffee cup. This is a toddler size coffee cup. I only have 2 hands. I can't carry 4 of these, 8 of these. Jeez. Pinkies up. Ugh. All right. Cases are increasing the most in Nebraska and Minnesota, and decreasing the most in Wyoming and Arkansas. I firmly believe, I don't know this to be the case, but I firmly believe that a bunch of people left Kansas and wound up in what is now Arkansas, and they're like, this is Arkansas now, and that's what they named it, Arkansas. It's ridiculous. It's the only one state is spelled Kansas and the other one is Arkansas. How does that happen? There's some kind of like Hatfields and McCoy stuff going on here that nobody's told me about. But I digress. More meat processing plants continue to shut down around the country, including Iowa and Tennessee. Multiple reports of meat rationing at Sam's Clubs, Costco, Aldi, Kroger, and many more. We are receiving reports of restaurants like Wendy's taking burgers off the menu, McDonald's limiting their menu selection, and Taco Bell being unable to fill orders due to a lack of meat in stock. Food shortage. Remember, what are we tracking regularly? And you know how heartened I am to see almost 200 of you here at 6 o'clock in the morning? Bless y'all and thank you for participating. Really, thank you. Economic collapse or economic crisis, food shortage, right? People behaving badly, tyranny or tyranny light, right? Plus politics, and then Whiskey Alpha Romeo. These are the 5 things that we've been tracking lately, but ongoing for the last few years here at this channel. And boy, I make a little note next to each one of these items in this report. That blue pen is my chicken scratch. Food shortage, civil unrest, Whiskey Alpha Romeo, and tyranny. And that's just on the front page. That's just on the first page of the report, which, by the way, the entirety of this report is available on Patreon in written format with pictures and supporting documents every day in perpetuity. Every single report is there. $1 or more a month on Patreon. Not because you like us, because we provide additional value at Patreon. There's a minimum of 24 exclusive pieces of content per month there. And it's usually more like 50 to 75. And this, last month was well over 100 pieces of content, like legit pieces of content, in addition to everything we do on YouTube. So I've been thinking about this meat shortage. Processors are shutting down. Producers have inventory. They have so much inventory that people are killing animals because there's no place to process them. Well, the hiccup on our end now for us personally is everybody I know, by the hands of the Most High, their freezers are full because we're preppers. We've been doing this a while, and people are starting to pay attention to what old Bear has to say out in the community at large, and so people are stocked up and getting stocked up. So where do we put the meat? Well, in a lot of places, and it's just a short-term solution, but I'm kicking this out there so that maybe y'all can take this and run with this idea, because I don't know. And the power of the Bear Nation is not that I'm in the driver's seat, although literally I'm in the driver's seat right now. It's not that at all. It's that there's 86,000 of us here right now that are all fearfully and wonderfully made individuals. Take this concept and run with it. You don't need me to drive your bus. You go drive your own bus, okay? In a lot of places, restaurants are shut down. Restaurants have walk-in coolers and walk-in freezers. I don't have room in my freezer, but there might be a restaurant near me that has room in their freezer to take half a beef, a whole beef, a pallet of chicken, whatever, okay? So take it and run with it. It's a thought that I had yesterday. If you can, again, trying to latch onto these resources that exist out there in the wild that the system can't make good use of, well, improvise, adapt, and overcome, right? If we can find the person who has the meat, say in this case cattle, find the person with the cow, find somebody with a restaurant that's not open or is doing low enough numbers currently because of COVID-19 that they can rent some freezer space to you for $50 a month, $100 a month, whatever, and then process that cow, that pallet of chickens, whatever, and get them into that freezer in a holding space, right? So commercial freezer space, commercial cooler space is just something that came to me yesterday, and I don't have an answer there, but hopefully one of y'all do. So think on it and apply that on your local level, your community level. Food pantries also tend to have a lot of freezer space, and so that would be something to consider as well. If you can buy beef cattle, butcher said beef cattle, and then get it into a food pantry freezer, awesome. Global health experts are still saying that the pandemic may lead to social unrest and famine. We are continuing to see reports of small-time civil unrest, but some around the world fear revolutions and civil wars due to this pandemic increasing divides between political parties and social classes. Duh. Civil unrest. We've seen this coming for years. Frankly, I don't think many of us saw a pandemic coming, but we've seen the rifts developing in society, the sifting, the separation of people coming for a good long while. An Asian researcher, quote, on the verge of making very significant findings about the cellular mechanisms of COVID-19 and the cellular basis of the following complications, was shot multiple times in an apparent murder-suicide. The man believed to be the assailant was found in his car, dead. The third option. So the first option for resolving a conflict is political/economic. The second option for resolving a conflict is armed conflict, war, Whiskey Alpha Romeo. The third option is covert action. That dude done got covert actioned, bro. Michigan's legislature is filing suit against the governor. Good. The Senate Majority Leader said in a statement, quote, "A crisis is not an excuse for breaking the law or violating the Constitution." You are damn right. A crisis is not an excuse for breaking the law or violating the Constitution. Governor Whitmer is doing both. We have no choice but to file suit against her on behalf of our constituents who deserve a transparent, functional government with checks and balances during this crisis, not to be governed by press releases or TV interviews. Amen. I'd also like to point out, just to everybody within the sound of my voice and everybody on planet Earth, we all deserve a transparent and functional government with checks and balances 24/7, 365. Crisis or no crisis. And going back to the thing that we had before the crisis does not mean that we are returning to a functional government with checks and balances and transparency, because we didn't have that before COVID-19. We got to go way, way, way back before that. So it's a step in the right direction for sure. But don't let COVID-19 shift the Overton window so that what we had before seems like ample and abounding freedom, because it was not. Please do the things. Like, comment, subscribe, share. That helps us in the algorithm. Blah, 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 blah. YouTube don't like us. We don't like them. But I like y'all. Thanks for being here. 459 of you. It's 6 something in the morning. Y'all are tremendous. 2 or more eyewitness accounts, continuity of infrastructure and supply chains, repeating, processing and manufacturing slowdowns are decreasing food supply and the supply of goods, particularly animal products. Beef production has been reduced by more than 10%. Some other reports are saying up to 30%. And pork production has now been reduced by a whopping 36%. Other places are saying up to 50%. There's some really incredible pics on Patreon relating to this, detailing the number of COVID cases in each meat packing plant. So this is a food scarcity issue. Not only that, it's a health issue, because where the food is being processed is by a bunch of people that have been, 400 cases in one plant, 700 cases in another plant. I don't want that. I don't want to eat that meat. Thanks, I'm good. Now, on the other hand, I think I've already had this. I believe I had this on phase 2 of Bethany House. And I say I believe that because I didn't have any testing. I don't really know, but the symptoms were congruent with COVID. My blood ox went from 98 to 84, like that. I was so sick I couldn't walk, I couldn't move, I was shaking violently. I thought I was gonna die. I hallucinated my pastor standing over me going, "Don't die." I was like, okay, I'm gonna not die. Yes, sir, you got it. It was bad. It was bad. I'm still here, but I'm relatively young, relatively healthy. I don't want to get it again. I don't want anybody else to get it, but it was not a death sentence. But that being said, for a lot of people, it could be. And so how do you bypass this broken system? Again, do it yourself. We should do this ourselves. One less thing for us to have to worry about. Legal and political. Many places are beginning to open up. Some places are extending their orders. After talks of the coronavirus task force winding down, President Trump is now saying it will continue indefinitely. A Dallas salon owner is behind bars for 7 days after refusing to apologize for reopening, disobeying coronavirus shutdown orders. The Texas Attorney General sent a letter to a Dallas judge urging for her release. There are many parts of Texas that are still wild, that are deeply conservative. By the way, the concept of being a conservative means that you can conserve things. So please understand that what should be conserved by a conservative, in my humble opinion, is the Constitution and the Bill of Rights of these United States of America, which codify our God-given rights that exist among all men and women, regardless of skin color, regardless of social stature, regardless of all of that. If you have a pulse in your body and you were created fearfully and wonderfully in the image of your Creator, you have certain inalienable rights, and those are what we should conserve. And there are vast swaths of those areas here in Texas. Yes, I'm in Texas right now. And for everybody who's going to get pissy about what I'm about to say, I've had family in Texas for 200 years. I have spent a large portion of my life in Texas. We have a county named after our family in Texas. But there are large portions of Texas as well that are not as Texas as they think they are. And Texas really needs to look out for that. Really needs to look out for that. Because certain areas, North Texas, for example, is becoming one homogenous blob of liberalism and facades. It's a facade. These people here, and I'm painting with a broad brush, but these people here are about as real as the brick veneer on the outside of their stick-framed house. It's just for looks. That's not actually brick. It doesn't do anything other than look nice. Austin stone is not special when everything is Austin stone. And you end up in a situation where somebody thinks it's a good idea to arrest somebody for asserting their God-given rights to protect themselves and their loved ones. How? By providing for them food, income, security. It's ridiculous. And this is what I mean when I say I don't need your permission to exist. You don't need my permission to exist. However, here in Dallas, apparently, you do need their permission to exist. And it's a bunch of bullshit. And if you're in Texas, especially if you're near Dallas, you should call them. You should call them, this here Dallas judge, and let them know, yo, not cool. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. You shine sunlight on something, shine a little bit of light on it, the cockroaches scatter. And Texas really, really needs to be careful, because the large population centers in Dallas are all swinging liberal. There's a long and organized concerted effort to turn Dallas purple. Not red, not blue, purple. It's going to go from red to purple, potentially to blue. Watch out. In Maine, Mainers have been told to contact their local police department with complaints about businesses violating state orders. My recommendation to you in Maine is you do exactly what the New Yorkers did. Swamp those phone lines with bullcrap. Swamp them. Swamp them. Repeating, clinicians suspect COVID-19 could do all kinds of terrible things to you, not just respiratory, but heart, kidneys, liver, and more. Additionally, waves of the outbreak are expected. One study shows that with additional waves expected, the virus may last 2 years. According to a U.S. report, it will likely last at least 18 to 24 months. Repeating, mental health issues are increasing, especially depression and anxiety. Several suicides of medical professionals have been reported, and there are worries within the mental health system that it simply doesn't have what it takes to absorb the coming onslaught of mental health needs. I could do an hour on this. We don't have an hour because the sun's coming up, and I've got big yellow iron to run. Positions of strength. You can't lift anybody up if you yourself are trodden down. Take a little bit of time for self-care if you need to. Really. And perspective, man. We are living in the best time ever, statistically, on planet Earth. Ever. It may not feel like it, but use this time for a little bit of introspection. And if it doesn't feel like it, ask yourself why. Are you chasing after things that don't matter and therefore you feel empty? Is your sense of purpose unfulfilled? Because you've been doing a bunch of stuff that is pointless. Chasing women, chasing cars, chasing houses, chasing numbers in a bank account. When you do things that matter, you don't have to worry at the end of the day whether or not your sense of purpose is fulfilled when you do things that matter. So maybe use this time to think about what matters and what doesn't. And ask yourself, why am I throwing energy at things that don't matter? Testing has revealed a huge number of masks manufactured in China fall short of standards, exposing those who use them to risk from COVID-19, war, Whiskey Alpha Romeo, or reparations. A study found a new coronavirus mutation shows a weakening of the virus as it mutates, a phenomenon known to virologists as Muller's ratchet. The same thing happened with SARS as it began to weaken. Mutating into weaker forms that don't make people so ill is how viruses go away over time. Under societal and general, gosh, we need some water. Societal and general. In Texas, a bar owner reopened with 6 armed men there to protect her. They were arrested after a brief standoff with police. Why? Why? On the Baffin Bay, on the Texas Gulf, in South Texas, there was a little, tiny bar. It was about the size of a shed in somebody's backyard. And I may or may not have been in there with a couple of guys from work, which essentially was the max capacity of this facility, which served beer in cans in a cooler in ice behind the plywood bar. And this guy walks in, and he was a legit cowboy. That was his job. Spurs, chaps, the whole nine. And he leans a double-barrel shotgun against the bar. Okay. And so we strike up a conversation. And apparently in Texas, due to some archaic law, it is still legal to possess a shotgun in a bar, just not a pistol or a rifle. Okay. More of that. More of that, please. Whatever that spirit is, let's tap into that. We need that. In New Orleans, the mayor is requiring that businesses keep logs of all the customers who enter. No. How about no? How about you kiss my ass, Mayor of New Orleans? No. Intel at bearindependent.com. If you have any tasty Intel nuggets, please send them to intel@bearindependent.com. Please consider purchasing some armor from adventurefrontier.com if you've already paid down some of your debt, and if your bills are paid, and if there is food in your pantry, and if you're growing food right now, and you still have some money left in your pocket. Adventurefrontier.com, Spartan armor, it's good stuff. They got everything else as well, including bear facts and bear minimums to hang on your kit. You can get the bear fact and the bear minimum. I just happen to have a coyote one here with me today. I showed y'all one of these yesterday, but and we're not going to dive into this kit, but man, they're the sexiest freaking kits. Oh yeah. Anyway, handmade, guaranteed forever. Look at the stitching. Look at it. Look at it. You see these? That's actually a chalk line from when this was laid out by hand and sewn by hand. So, ballistic nylon, hook and loop, guaranteed forever. Bearindependent.com, you can get those. Just shipped out another big order yesterday. Got another big order coming in today. Y'all are killing it at the bear store. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's like 10 households, roughly 3 dozen people that are being supported by this and by this. So if you have some scratch in your pocket, awesome. Please consider, if you need an IFAC, purchasing one from us. They are about $100 less than Dark Angel Medical, and our stuff's made in America by Americans with North American rescue components, not China pouches made in China by Chinese people that's not guaranteed forever, and not China stuff put inside of the pouch and then sold for $300. That's what you call branding. You take $60 worth of crap, you put it in a pouch and sell it for $300 because it says Dark Angel Medical on it. Cool. Whatever, man. You do you. Or my medic. Oh, okay. But I digress. Also, please, LifeSource International, lifesourceinternational.org. Personal friends of mine, they are a food pantry in northwestern Arkansas, that they are going through a battle with their landlord right now. They're really trying to purchase the property that they are on because their landlord wants to shut them down, and they are a light in their community, serving thousands of families per week. They're freaking awesome. Awesome guys. And this is a family affair. They've been in this, I don't know, 40 years, something like that. Just blessing their community. And now, because of COVID-19, their landlord is at odds with them. And so they are trying to raise funds to purchase their facility. And they're a nonprofit. They need help. So prayerfully consider supporting lifesourceinternational.org. I would love it if you'd let them know that Bear sent you. They're really good people. And if they weren't, I wouldn't tell you about them. I certainly wouldn't use the spot where I would discuss my charitable organization with y'all to discuss their charitable organization with y'all if I didn't think they were awesome people. I know them personally, and I know their hearts, and they're awesome people. So, somebody cutting onions in here. WTF, man. The U.S. is closing, quote, a wide missile gap with China, end quote, by, among other upgrades, accelerating deliveries of a new long-range anti-ship missile for the first time in decades. Whiskey Alpha Romeo. A powerful earthquake affected Indonesia, but no injuries have been reported at the time of this writing. Matthew 24. Wars and rumors of wars and scarcity of food and plague and earthquakes in diverse places. Yeah. An industrial mechanic counted 56 skids of ammo, 223, 9mm, and 7.62 on an Old Dominion loading dock in New Jersey. This ammo was going to different locations, 5 to 11 skids per store. These pics are on Patreon. Is this business as usual? I don't know, because 56 skids of ammo sounds nice to me. I mean, I'll take that delivery. That's cool. But, I mean, I know some people in some facilities where that's Tuesday. So, I don't know if that's business as usual or not. I do know this. I have, in the last couple of days, attempted to buy more ammunition to have shipped in from a couple of my usual ammo suppliers. Ammoman.com is one and bulkammo.com is another. And you know what I found? Both of them threw up an error where they said, sorry, we're not shipping to your area right now. So if anybody who knows, if there's anybody out there who knows an ammo supplier that's shipping into Oklahoma, eastern Oklahoma right now, send me an email, November Tango X-Ray Mike Alpha Golf at gmail.com. Because you always need more ammo. But apparently I can't order any online and have it shipped to me right now. WTF. Is that a nationwide thing, or is that what's going on there? Because it showed it was in stock. Just couldn't and at good prices too. Yeah, acceptable prices. But just couldn't ship. International. Canada. New details about Trudeau's assault-style gun ban are emerging, revealing clauses which ban firearms based on the power of the projectile, or bore diameter as well, which are actually targeting most, if not all, 10 and 12 gauge shotguns and many bolt-action hunting rifles. Several colleges will be laying off around half of their staff, and the price of meat has more than doubled. Gotta be careful what I say here because we're on YouTube. Canada. Oh, Canada. Get off your ass and stand up. I think things have the potential to get harder, not easier, in the near future. Your government is not for your people. Hell, I don't even think it's by your people. It's certainly not doing you any favors right now. And I think even if it was, its ability to do you favors going forward is going to be greatly diminished due to international circumstance. You do not want to be under the tyrannical thumb of that little a-hole, Trudeau, or anybody else. See, even Israel had this problem. You want a king? I'll give you a king. You have one king. Yeshua, Jesus the Christ, says, call no one master but your Father in heaven. Call no one master but your Father in heaven. But if you want a king, I'll give you a king. I don't want a king, and I know who my master is. And so, Canada, I would encourage you to remove your king from your midst and serve your master. Got a whole section on debunking misinformation. We went through this yesterday. There's the CARES Act. They knew about this a year prior. Everything was planned. Actually, technically, while it's the same bill number, it's not the same content. Harvard University professor being arrested. He was arrested because he had previous dealings with the Chinese government, which he lied about, not because he was selling coronavirus or anything like that. And DHS in Oregon has stated that they will only take children that have caregivers so ill that they are unable to care for them, and no one else who can care for them either. Actionable. If you need rice, one viewer notes that Asian supply stores, while picked over a bit, still tend to have large bags of rice in stock. So that's cool. If you need medical supplies such as sutures and tools, you can probably get them from midwife supply companies. Also, shopmedvet.com is a place where I've gotten a lot of my stuff. It's, you know, for when your doggy is sick. That's a place to go for those things. And I found their pricing on a lot of what one would consider trauma medical, you know, but basic stuff. I mean, tape, gauze, gloves, disinfectant, which, by the way, I hope there were people out there when, for years, people were saying, Bear, what do I need to stock for medical? Tape, gauze, glove, disinfectant. I hope you all did. I hope you got buckets full of gloves, because now we need them. Because I really don't think many of us saw global pandemic as being the next big prepper thing. I think a lot of us were thinking war. I know a lot of people were like, bro, it's EMP. EMP is coming, and then war. And then what they're going to do is they're going to pop that EMP, and then the CDC says that 90% of the population is going to die off, and then there's going to be a ground force invasion, and blah, 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 blah. And the Chinese have got 1 million riflemen, bro. Or, hey, here's a little tiny virus that you can't see. Everybody stay home. We're just going to tank your economy instead. Whiskey Alpha Romeo. Thank you, you all in the super chat. I want y'all to know I'd have the comments turned off when I do this, so I can't see you, but I appreciate you, because otherwise my train of thought gets so derailed that it would be impossible for me to deliver the report. But I appreciate y'all in the super chat. Thank you. And thank you for those thumbs up as well. That helps us in the algorithm. Contact your local farmers to buy direct. Form groups to process large orders and live animals. Like I said, also find out where you're going to put these things. Like, find a freezer. Silver linings. One couple just bought an old farmhouse. Yay! They're putting in a garden, putting in an order for animals to butcher, and are stacking food to the rafters. Awesome. A viewer now has a husband on board with preparedness. They've prepped their bug-out bags, have planted a small veggie garden, started homeschooling, and are planning to travel to Arkansas to look for land. Awesome. I gotta say this. We have a lot of women at this channel who are like, Bear, my husband just won't get on board. Watch episode 1 of the Prepper Classroom. What is prepping? Prepping, for me, is stockpiling material goods coupled with the skill set and coupled with the mindset to employ said material goods. Why? Because it's essentially physical life insurance. What man on earth who has been gifted the headship and stewardship of a family wouldn't be into preparedness? That is your responsibility, bro. Get off your ass and kick it into high gear. Another contributor is seeing a mag progress, increasing their garden, accomplishing projects, and has a new shooter in the family. Farmers who are selling direct to locals are often doing better than they did working in the system. Amen. Remember us. If the system tries to rear its ugly head again, farmers, this is for you. Remember us. We want your product. We want to support you. We want to support you, your farm, your family, your land, your animals. We want to work with you directly. And so remember us the next time the big buyers and the big corporate companies come around trying to, you know, yeah, well, we're going to put 50,000 birds in there. Well, I don't have 50,000 birds to put in your chicken house. My wife probably does. But we can figure something out. Do business with us. We're your consumer anyway. Remember us. In southern New Hampshire, a group of volunteers at the Seacoast Chabad Jewish Center hosted a drive-through distribution handing out 15,000 masks, which they received through donations, to anyone who wanted one. They also gave out 5,000 gloves. They're hoping to hand out another 10,000 masks next week. The volunteers also collected 75 tablets that will be donated to seniors. This will allow those seniors to stay connected, albeit virtually. That's cool. Very cool. Neighbors are putting in gardens everywhere. One viewer was walking in their large town as usual and for the first time heard several roosters crow. Awesome. Another viewer literally has buckets stacked to the ceiling in the garage. Excellent. Is gardening and meat raising like crazy. Has toilet paper, meds, ham radios, and is preparing to help the neighbors. This viewer says, quote, they may not know it, but they are in the community, just not activated yet. End quote. Now that's a good point, to which I would ask you, this is a couple things going on here. The first is, these people have somebody who is preparing for them, whether they know it or not. That's good. We've had people like that in our life that we have prepared for, that they didn't know, and we've still encouraged them to prepare themselves. But at what point do you activate them? That's something for you to think about. At what point do you activate these people? Because we might be getting there. It might behoove you to activate these people. At least let them know now, hey, there's a plan. And I'll tell you this too. It ain't easy being king. So don't be. Run a team. Run a team. We got all these useful resources here, which are HTML links. Notes from the Intel staff, the dance monkeys. Some of the Intel emails we are receiving are actually satirical articles, or worse, articles using satirical articles as sources. Please dive into the sources and double check the text before passing around misinformation. Thank you, Bear Nation, for your continuing contributions. We could not do this without you. Thank you, Dance Monkeys. And by the way, yes, for all those who are new, the entirety of this report is generated from the intel that you all send in. So thank you. Just make sure that it's actual intel. Please. It needs to pass the smell test before you send it to us. Check out the forums at bearindependent.com. Check out the forums at bearindependent.com. We did that for you. For real, for you. Disastercoffee.com, which I don't have any of this morning, and I'm missing it. They are supporters of Grindstone Ministries. You can go to disastercoffee.com. Delicious freaking coffee. You can also get their bunker beans, which are unroasted, which you can put into Mylar bags and add an oxygen absorber, and they'll last on your shelf for like 20 years, man. So if you're a coffee aficionado like I am, and you want to make sure you stay highly caffeinated during the Coronapocalypse, disastercoffee.com. Also, Sanctified Supply Company. They are an awesome little company that make awesome swag, t-shirts, hats, patches, stuff like that that glorifies the Most High. So check them out. Sanctified Supply Company and Amendment 1 Preparedness make awesome ham radios that are inside of ammo cans. I do have one of those. This is the 50 cal can. Right, hashtag prepper. I'm on the road. You see I got my survival antenna in there. There's a radio in it, the whole nine. Good to go. So that's the 50 cal can. And then they have the 30 cal can as well. And the 30 cal can fits, it's like 10 pounds, fits in a rucksack, gives you a 25 watt radio with battery backup. Highly portable. Can be charged from any 12 volt source, including a solar panel, your pickup truck battery, your whatever you got. So really cool stuff. Amendment 1 Preparedness. Check them out. Again, thank you for killing it at the store. Please consider us if you got some scratch in your pocket. Support your small businesses, man. Support your small businesses. Jeff Bezos will still have a retirement fund when this whole thing is over. A lot of people won't. A lot of people are trying to figure out how do they feed their kids, how do they feed their friends, how do they feed their tribe right now. Bearfax at bearindependent.com. thank you. And the entirety of this report is on Patreon. You can find it there. So let's talk to our creator, and then I got to get to work. Got a trailer to drop. I got some yellow iron to run. And I left my freaking safety shades in the hotel, so I had to buy these gas station specials. Look at this atrocity. Ugh. It'll work. Let's talk to our creator. Good morning, Father Yah. Father, thank you for this. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to so many people, Father, and thank you for the opportunity to engage using this technology. Father, I pray we'd have a good day. I pray that we would glorify you today with our actions and our words and our thoughts and our emotions. Father, that you would keep us pointed in the right direction, that you would keep us mindful of you, that we would remember you, that we would stay sanctified unto you, that you would be the leader of our life today. Father, thank you for setting us apart. Thank you for this opportunity to learn and to grow and to walk with you. Father, I pray peace on these people. Peace is the word that comes to mind. And Father, we know peace comes from you, and the peace that surpasses all understanding comes from your Ruach HaKodesh, your Holy Spirit, Father. And so I pray that you would fill us up with your Ruach. Father, if there's anything within the sound of my voice that's not of you, I rebuke it in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach and command it to flee. Father, keep us filled up. Father, thank you for this. Thank you for redemption and restoration through Yeshua Messiah. Thank you for using us to do wonderful things for your kingdom. Father, keep us mindful of who it is that drives the bus. Keep us humble. Father, just please continue to walk with us. In Yeshua's name, amen. Bless y'all. Have an awesome day. Shalom.